So first and foremost, me personally, I think that motivation and willpower is kind of bullshit. I kind of view willpower as a finite resource. I think that people can get their initial kind of like kickstart into, starting to make those changes or like spark some initial, action. But when the going gets tough and when that stuff fizzles away, it's like you can't bank on that. You can't rely on just always wanting to do things, right? Because there's going to come a time where you're not going to want to do that thing. You should have to do that, you have to do those things. Those are things that need to be done in order to achieve X eventually, but you're not gonna feel like doing it. You're not gonna always feel like doing these things. And I'll just preface all of this with the fact that I do have empathy, okay? I mean, that's what I do for a living, right? I try to make myself a great resource for those people who want to reach their goals, who want to be healthier, who want to lose body fat, who want to feel good about themselves and get stronger and all these things. So this is coming from a place of love, but I think I need to be honest with everyone because everyone is fed a lot of bullshit through fitness and health marketing, and the industry is just it's full of a lot of lies and unrealistic expectations and quick fixes. So if you know me, you know I'm no bullshit, and this is coming from a good place. But I do think that you need some tough love sometimes, so I'm just gonna give it to you straight, like always. Responsibility. I don't care whose fault it is or whose fault you think it is as to why your body is the way it is, or where you are in your life. The truth is, it's still your responsibility. And when people continue to place blame elsewhere, they lose their power. Okay, they lose control of their body. And I think that that's a big challenge for a lot of people. They feel like no matter what they do, it's some external thing that's ultimately sabotaging them or controlling their ability to change, and that they're completely helpless. And that's just not the case. So you need to accept 100% responsibility for where your body is right now. Your body is a 100% reflection of the things you have done and have not done over the past 5, 10, 15 years, okay? It is the accumulation of all the habits, of all the things you've eaten, the things you've not eaten, exercise you've done, exercise you have not done, whatever it is, right? So it's all you. It's not your, your metabolism that you can't control, your thyroid, it's not your mom, it's not your genetics, it's not the GMOs, it's not the government, it's not the food industry, it's you. It's 100% you. And I don't mean that to be mean. I want you to understand that it is your fault that you are where you are, and that's a good thing, right? I want things to be my fault, because then I understand, all right, I did this to myself, therefore I can undo it. I have the power to change it. But if you feel completely victimized and out of control of your body and not responsible for anything, then yeah, of course, anything that you attempt to do, you're always gonna have that in the back of your mind, like, I know this is not gonna work because X, Y, Z external factors are gonna keep me from going where I wanna go. So it doesn't matter what I do. But for people who are, struggling with diet and exercise, I'm like, dude, you gotta stop blaming everyone. It's not your thyroid, right? Most thyroid issues stem from gut issues, which is based off of what you're eating and drinking, right? It's still your responsibility. You're putting a bunch of bad shit rare now, and I know, again, that there are exceptions to all this, right? There are certain people that have, thyroid issues and things like Hashimoto's and PCOS. I understand that, right? But I'm talking the majority of people who say, oh, I just can't help it, it's my genetics. Okay, genetics have to be expressed by their environment, right? They have to be turned on and sparked. And so it's the things that you're doing or not doing that's allowing those genes to be expressed. But it doesn't, when I talk to people who are on thyroid medication, the majority of them, right? Not everyone, there's always exceptions, or people who, have bad genes, right? Their whole family's bad. And then I look at what they're eating, I'm like, okay, well, you're still not controlling the things that you can control, right? Like the genetics may be this tiny little percentage of influence over your body, but the other things that you have control over, the things that you're eating and drinking all the time, and the exercise and movement that you're not doing, like the genetics is that much of the equation. So just take ownership of your body, of your actions or inactions, and just own it 100%. Because when you do that, you take your power back. Okay, you take ownership and you finally accept, like, you know what? I do have control. I can do this. That's step one. Step two, managing expectations. When it comes to like profoundly changing your body, health, appearance-wise, whatever, you have to think about the year goal, not the 6 week, not the 3 week or the 6 months even, a year. You have to completely fall in love with the idea that a year from now, you have the potential to be a completely different person. But we are constantly fed these 6 week, 2 weeks, 10 days, 12 days, 15 days, 21 days, 30 days, whatever, all that bullshit, right? With these like extreme makeovers and radical transformations, and it's ridiculous. And yes, I host 6 week, we're currently doing one, nutrition challenges, where it's this 6 week overhaul of really focusing and honing in on mastering a certain skill set or new thing, and in hopes of it becoming a habit over the 6 weeks, and for you to carry and continue doing those things 3 months, 6 months, 12 months from now, right? This is why we choose things that are practical to implement for the long term. But you've got to get out of this 3 month like mindset, okay? It's not 6 months, it's a year. It's 1 year. 1 year from now. 1 year from now, 12 months, and I know you're like, oh God, it's not even gonna be worth it. Okay, well, where were you 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5, 10 years ago, right? Like, look how fast that has gone by. How fast has 6 months gone by? So speaking of this year-long journey, potentially even longer, depending on how much weight you have to lose, what extreme changes you're looking to experience, change and success in many different parts of your life is not linear. A lot of people expect to see like weight loss, or down rather, like just in 3 weeks I'm gonna lose this, in 6 weeks I'm gonna lose this, and then in 12 weeks, and then in 6 months, and then it's not linear. Like, you go down, plateau, maybe fluctuate down, okay? That's why it does take a year. It truly does take a while. And you should not be dieting and at a deficit for much longer than 10, 12 weeks at a time anyway. So if you have 60 pounds to lose, 50 pounds to lose, you're gonna do it 10, maybe 12 pounds at a time, depending on how much you have to lose. You could lose in a sustainable rate 1 to maybe 2 pounds per week, and that won't be every week. Another thing that I think a lot of people don't anticipate happening, because they assume that everyone in their life is always going to be supportive of them, right? Because they're their friends, they're their loved ones or whatever, is the amount of pressure that they're going to have from people around them. And that they don't understand that when you're trying to make these changes to lose body fat, to get stronger, become more disciplined, doing those habits that are necessary to get to those goals, you will be the odd man out in a lot of social circumstances, at work, at home, in your social circles, when you're going out with your friends. What is common now is obesity. What is common now is diabetes. What is common now is overeating, right? What is common now is eating a ton of processed foods. That's what's common. If you look around in any public place in the United States, there are a ton of really unhealthy fat people everywhere, right? And you look in their carts, and what are they doing? What are they eating? What are they not, what are they not doing as far as exercise and stuff like that? So you are going to be the odd person out. And people you have relationships with people, and you start to kind of categorize people. And we do this subconsciously. We don't really understand or do these things intentionally, but you have your circle of friends, right? Your circle of influence, and you're like, oh, that's that friend. This is the party friend, or this is that friend, or this is the friend I can always count on eating this with, or this is the friend I can always count on doing, and so we have all these little categories for our different people and friends in our lives, and we like our little perfect bubble. It's very comfortable, right? We don't like things to be rocked or shaken up by any means. So when you start to change your habit and behavior, and you start to say no to going out every Friday night with your friends because you want to go to the gym on Saturday, you don't want to be hungover, and you don't want to drink a bunch of shit and eat a bunch of shit on Friday night, you're gonna have some pushback from those friends, like, oh, oh, okay, you know, and they're doing that because they're reflecting onto you, because you are now making them kind of second guess their habits and their behavior, and they don't like that, right? They haven't come to terms with and taken ownership of their shit yet, and so that makes them a little upset. But you still have to continue to do what you need to do. You cannot let those people influence you at it. So just understand that you're gonna have to say no to people. You're going to have to say no to people. You're gonna have to turn down their plans, okay? If you don't think, like in the back of your mind, if you don't really, truly believe that you are capable of reaching that goal, or worthy of reaching that goal, or capable of following this program or doing XYZ every day for, you know, the next year, then you're right, you're not gonna do it and you will fail. And this is why people continue to fail over and over and over again with whatever method or new diet or whatever. It's because in the back of their mind, they've already set themselves up for failure, right? If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right too, okay? So you have to 100% change your mindset. And if you need help with this, by all means, like, reach out to a professional. There is no shame in working with someone to better your mindset, right? To help you like move forward in a bunch of different areas in your life. Go talk to a psychologist. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I've had counselors and psychologists in my life, and there's nothing wrong with you, right? You don't have to be like diagnosed with anything, but sometimes, well, most of the time I would say it's mental. It's you know, the expectations or the limitations rather that you put on yourself that keeps you from going over, you know, and finally breaking through the plateau and freaking crushing those goals once and for all. If you're going into it saying, yeah, you know, I'll try it, but you know, I'll probably not really work just like the last ones, well, yeah, you're right, it's not going to work. You already fucked it up, right? Or if you think like, oh, I'm just always gonna be the fat girl, yeah, you are. You've already convinced yourself that that is all you'll ever be, and you'll never allow yourself to do the things necessary to not be the fat girl. So you have to change the way you view yourself. So it may sound like total woo-woo like bullshit to you, but visualization works. Like if you visualize yourself, you know, with your peak health or whatever it is you're looking to achieve, and you change the way you view yourself, you change your ceiling, you change your potential. If you truly convince yourself that you are worthy of achieving X, right? You are going to do it, you are capable of doing so, it is totally 100% possible, then it'll be much easier for you to do the things needed to reach those goals. Book recommendation to read if you struggle with this, Psycho Cybernetics. Awesome, awesome book. I'll put the link in the YouTube. And lastly, like, to be honest guys, just straight up discipline. So many people lack grit and discipline. Never met a really successful person who have read about them or heard about successful people that just don't work hard, period. Like, they wake up earlier, they stay up later. They all have the same 24 hours in the day. I mean, we all have the same amount of time on earth. We all have the same amount of time in our day. It's just, do we prioritize the important things and not let stupid shit get in our way and stupid people get in our way? And do we just suck it up and do the things that we need to do in order to reach your goals? Like, it's that simple. It's not easy to do all the time. Sometimes you just gotta do shit you don't wanna do. Sometimes you don't feel like eating that dinner that you cooked last night, right? But you know what? You have goals, you understand that you're worth it, you're worth the work, you're worth the sacrifice, it's important to you. So sometimes you just need to just stop whining, stop making excuses, and just do the shit that you have to do. You do it for you, and you do it because you need to do it, and you're worth it, and you're an adult, and you need to have discipline. So a lot of people just miss mental grit, just straight up discipline. Like, wake up earlier. I don't like waking up early all the time. I wake up at 4:30 sometimes. When I get to sleep in during the week, it's 5:45. That's my sleeping in, okay? Do I like it? No, but I have to do it, and I'm an adult, and I have responsibilities, and I have certain things I want to achieve in my life and certain things that I want to do in my day, so I just fucking do it. But it's not always fun. I mean, I'm slamming coffee on those mornings sometimes, but I just suck it up. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I really, really want to help as many people as possible. I love answering these questions. So if you have more questions, please, you know, shoot them my way on Facebook, put them in the comment section on YouTube. If you enjoy this, if you like this or found this valuable, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. And you know, I didn't say any of this to hurt any feelings. I think that I owe it to you and anyone who's willing to listen, who's genuinely looking to help themselves, to be honest, right? And this is just, these are things that are coming from my heart. They're coming from a good place because I care, because I don't want you to get duped into some type of gimmicky product or fitness marketing or anything like that. I want you to feel 100% in control of you and your body. And in order to feel that way, you have to take ownership of it. I hope you guys found this useful, and if you have some people in your life that, you know, just keep hitting the wall with the same things, maybe this could be valuable to them and you could share it with them or tag them in it or whatever. But yeah, I look forward to making more of these for you guys, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and see you later.